Boxing Truth here. Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, and his trainer Abel Sanchez are fed up with these diva middleweight champs, diva lineal champs, and catchweight fighters, as their fight with Dominic Wade is this weekend. But since his run at HBO, Dominic Wade has to be the weakest opponent in this fight. It has to be his weakest opponent to date ever since he's made his debut on HBO. I mean, you look on it, you look back. I mean, I think Proska's was a better fight. Curtis Stevens was more experienced. Marco Rubio, at least, had fought somebody, beaten some fighters, and he also fought some names. Of course, Martin Murray was probably his strongest opponent. Even Matthew Macklin had more experience. At least the dude he knocked out in Monaco, I forgot his name. He knocked out James Kirkland in one round. The Asian dude, big tall Asian that never been knocked out until he fought Golovkin. Even that could have been a stronger opponent, Ashita, but he was mostly a 54-pounder. So then he unified with Lemieux, the first champion willing to get in the ring with Golovkin. So yeah, Dominic Wade is the weakest opponent on the HBO platform for Triple G. And ironically, Triple G's toughest fight would have been on the first fight of his first fight on HBO. He was supposed to fight Dmitry Pirog. Ironically, that would have been his toughest fight, and what would have been his first fight in America on HBO. And Pirog ended up hurting his back and retired. It's too bad that fight didn't happen. It would have been a great fight, and it would have been Golovkin's toughest opponent for his first fight on HBO. But it wasn't meant to be. And now, with the assignment with Dominic Wade, it's the weakest opponent because Wade's a prospect. His first step up, he didn't pass the test. He couldn't beat a 40-plus-old, injured-prone Sam Solomon coming off an injury with his knee. So the event is not suffering. I mean, it's pretty much a sellout. It's going to be a sellout by the time the event comes around. But everyone expects what's going to happen. It's just, I expect a 22nd consecutive knockout. I expect Golovkin to defend his titles. And I expect him to deliver a knockout performance. But it's getting frustrating for everybody, the media, the fans, even Golovkin and Abel Sanchez themselves. They're fed up with the catchweight fighters, the diva lineal champions. I mean, Miguel Cotto ducked him to fight Adrian Gill, then ducked him again to fight a money fight. Well, he definitely ducked him to fight Gill, a weight-trained Gill. The Canelo Alvarez fight, that was a money fight, business fight. And then now Canelo's doing the same thing. He's ducking Golovkin to fight a welterweight and not taking his biggest payday, because he's taking less money. He's taking a pay cut to fight Khan when he could fight Golovkin for way more money, win a way bigger, more high-profile fight. And what's crazy for Canelo is that his fight with Khan is, less than 3 weeks away, and he had a conference call yesterday with the media. And according to one writer, he said, it's hilarious. No one's talking about Amir Khan. Everyone's talking about when is Canelo going to fight Triple G. And as the more information comes out, you could just tell Canelo's not going to fight Triple G next. So he's pretty much saying that Canelo, when he's constantly asked by the media, recently he's saying he's not thinking about Golovkin in the WBC situation, that they need a few more fights to go to a full-fledged middleweight division. And now Canelo and Pacquiao is seeing like it's more and more getting closer to reality, as Oscar has recently stated that if Aaron wants to make that fight, all he has to do is pick up the phone and give me a call. And also Canelo's trainers are very intrigued by the idea of fighting Pacquiao. They're interested in the fight. I'm sure Canelo is interested as well. And Golovkin is just, I know he's definitely getting irritated, he's getting pissed off, annoyed with Canelo's statements, because every statement he's making has nothing to do with defending his title at 160 pounds. And even if the WBC strips Canelo and he ends up fighting Pacquiao, it will still be for the lineal middleweight championship. So say if Pacquiao wins that fight, he'll be a lineal champion in 6 divisions. and also a champion in 9 divisions, because Canelo's still a lineal champion. But we all know Golovkin's the best middleweight in the world, because he'll have 3 belts, and most likely the WBC will strip him, because Loeffler will be forced to consider litigation against the WBC if they don't get their way. And Golovkin's team, they're at a point right now that, they're saying we're not doing the WBC any more favors. We're not doing these lineal champions any more favors. No more step aside deals for Canelo. They want their date with Canelo, if he's gonna fight or not, or they just want to pick up that strap and then maybe go after Saunders if he takes the fight to become the undisputed middleweight champion. The goal that Golovkin wants, he just wants to prove he's the best middleweight in the world, who's number one. And he's been nice about it for a while, saying, guys, that I know they're ready to fight me. They're great champions. They're great warriors. Just playing nice to see if these guys will fight him. But it hasn't been working, because I know behind closed doors, Golovkin's saying what a lot of fans are saying. I mean, he's like, yo, this fucking redhead bitch won't fight me. He's holding the belt hostage. He's a welterweight cherry picker. I mean, this is pretty much what Abel Sanchez is saying in interviews. Golovkin's not saying, he's being nice, but Abel Sanchez is at a point where he's fed up. He's pissed off. He's throwing a lot of shade at the Canelo camp, saying that, if he doesn't fight him next, then he pretty much just says without saying it that he knows he ain't ready for Triple G. Abel Sanchez says that Canelo's another 8-round fight for Triple G, and that he knows it and Oscar knows it, and that if they don't fight him next, then they pretty much just prove without saying to the public that they want no parts of Golovkin. They know that they can't win that fight. So Oscar he's doing his best to prolong the fight, and he recently stated that he wants to marinate that fight, that the fight needs to be marinated. It has to happen at the perfect time. Does the fight need to be bigger? It's a huge fight right now, honestly. I mean, I know pay-per-view numbers are down, but if that fight was to happen in September, Canelo and Triple G, it would have a really good chance to do 2 million buys. Will it do 1 million? Yes, I think it does 1 million. Can it do 2 million? Be difficult, but it has a good chance. But it's definitely a big fight now. It would definitely generate a lot of money. But it's a damaging loss to Canelo. I mean, it's not going to be a decision loss. It's not going to be, getting pot shotted to a points loss or being jabbed and out touched. He's gonna get beaten down. He's gonna get his ass whooped, and he's probably gonna get stopped. And that's a damaging loss to Canelo's brand, damaging loss to Oscar. So if he's gonna take this L, it's got to be for the most money possible. So if they hold it off till May of next year, then or September of next year, I mean, I guess whatever. But as long as it happens, I don't mind. But just give up the belt, stop holding it hostage. Enough with these 155 created divisions by these blown up welters or welterweight hunters like Canelo. Enough with making up their own weight class, because as Golovkin says, this is not game. It's disrespectful to box. Stop disrespecting box. Fight in the middleweight division. Fight at 160 pounds. And Golovkin's team, they're not bending for Canelo because they don't have to. The rule states in the WC as the mandatory challenger, the fight is at a full limit at 160. Also, there's percentages that's going to be handed down to the champion and also to the mandatory challenger, in this case the interim belt holder for Golovkin. So the Golovkin's team are going to feel that they earn those percentages because they're interim champion to that belt. But because Canelo is such a big draw and a much bigger draw than Golovkin, Oscar's going to want he's going to try to negotiate for even a bigger cut of the shares of the what the fight can generate. So he's probably going to demand an 80% split of the purse, which is not going to happen. Golovkin is not going to accept that. He feels he brings more to the table, and he does. He brings a name. He brings a fan base. He brings, some appeal to the fight. 80-20, that's not going to happen, but that's exactly what Oscar's going to negotiate for. But Golovkin definitely deserves more than a 20% split. I would say maybe 65-35 in favor of Canelo. But the fight's not going to happen in September. It's pretty much very obvious. They're going to vacate the title. That's, WC has to vacate. They have to strip him. They don't, or they'll have to, they'll be forced, they'll probably see, a litigation suit from Loeffler if that happens. But if they don't strip Canelo. So that's what's going to happen. Triple G is going to pick up his third belt by default because Canelo won't fight him. He's going to record his 22nd straight knockout over Dominic Wade. I mean, is anybody even picking Dominic Wade? Has anybody even checked him out in training camp? How's he looking? Just feels like he's a sacrificial lamb in this fight. But it is what it is. Triple G may be forced to move up and wait for a big fight for his next fight. He wants to stay active. That's the best he could do. I know people are frustrated. I mean, I'm a little frustrated. I just want to see Golovkin in the big fight. Want to see him. I want to see that intrigue where he's in there with a big name. He has a chance to get a big fight under his belt. Just want Golovkin to prove well, we already know that he's the best middleweight in the world. But these top fighters just too terrified to fight him. They know how good he is. They've heard the stories in the gym. But April 23rd, Golovkin's next fight this Saturday. I'm not really that excited about it, you know. It's just because I know what's going to happen. It's a foregone conclusion. But hopefully, most likely, Golovkin will get another crushing knockout. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.